This is AP News Minute. The U.S. Supreme Court struck down a majority black congressional district in Louisiana. The 6-3 ruling weakens a landmark civil rights era law that has increased minority representation in Congress. It opens the door for more redistricting efforts that could aid Republicans in the House. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth can expect questions about the Iran war on Thursday. He'll testify before the Senate Armed Services Committee. House Democrats questioned him about the war's costs on Wednesday. White House Correspondents' dinner shooting suspect, Cole Thomas Allen, took a picture of himself before the attack. According to court filings, it shows Allen with an ammunition bag, a shoulder gun holster, and a sheathed knife. He's charged with trying to storm the dinner and kill President Trump. Britain's King Charles III and Queen Camilla conclude their U.S. tour on Thursday. They visited the September 11th memorial in New York Wednesday.
When you see 675 on that sign, what do you think?
I think it's killing me.
Drivers in California reacting to the climbing cost of filling up their tanks.
I just came for the drinks, because it's cheaper to get a drink here than it is to get, gas.
Across the country in Massachusetts, same story.
About $70.
What was it about 2-3 months ago?
About 50.
As of Wednesday, according to AAA, the national average price of regular gas stood at $4.23 a gallon, the highest price in nearly 4 years since July 2022. The recent jump means the cost is up 21 cents in just the last week, the largest weekly gain since March. Some experts are warning that a combination of factors may keep prices from coming down anytime soon.
We make the switch over from winter blend gasoline to summer blend gasoline, which is more expensive to make and more expensive for us to purchase at the pumps.
And the busy summer travel season is coming up, likely pushing up demand. It comes as uncertainty surrounding the war in Iran pushes oil prices higher. Brent crude oil prices, the global benchmark, surged higher than $125 per barrel early Thursday. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
I welcomed the announcement last Friday by the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia that she had closed the criminal investigation. She also noted, however, that she would not hesitate to restart the investigation. Over the weekend, the Department of Justice provided assurances that they will not reopen the investigation unless there's a criminal referral from the Fed's Inspector General. I've said that I will not leave the board until this investigation is well and truly over with transparency and finality, and I stand by that. But these legal actions by the administration are unprecedented in our 113-year history, and there are ongoing threats of additional such actions. I worry that these attacks are battering the institution and putting at risk the thing that really matters to the public, which is the ability to conduct monetary policy without taking into consideration political factors. After my term as chair ends on May 15, I will continue to serve as a governor for a period of time to be determined. I plan to keep a low profile as a governor. There's only ever one chair of the Federal Reserve Board. When Kevin Warsh is confirmed and sworn in, he will be that chair.
Well, thank you very much. We have some people that have captivated the attention of the whole world. Not just our country, the whole world, and they're very brave, and there was a lot of rocket under them. I never saw anything like that. We were talking about it. It's I don't know how they do it. I wouldn't want to do it.
I have had the privilege of interviewing Gene Cernan, the last man to walk on the moon.
Good. Yeah.
Is that what you would like to do? And Mr. President, do you think that will happen during your second term?
I think we have a good shot, right? We'll see.
Yes, Mr. President, we have an achievable plan now back to the moon, and we're back in the business of launching moon rockets with frequency. So we just sent Artemis 2 around the moon. We're going to launch Artemis 3 in 2027. We'll protect for up for 2 opportunities in 2028 to return astronauts to the surface of the moon.
First, on the topic of space, do you have an update on the UFO files?
Well, I think we're going to be releasing as much as we can in the near future. I've interviewed people, my first term primarily, but I interviewed some pilots, very solid people, and they said they saw things that you wouldn't believe.
Furry friends fill our hearts with so much joy, but they can also empty our wallets.
When we talk about ultrasound, CT, MRI, They are very expensive.
Dr. Michael Bailey, president of American Veterinary Medical Association, says rising costs for medical supplies and new technologies are causing vets to charge more. And just like human healthcare, animal healthcare is expensive, and most pet owners are paying their pet bills out of pocket.
You can get pet insurance, which is one of those things that's there for any catastrophic event.
His group estimates only 4% of U.S. pets are covered by pet insurance. Bailey says there are multiple insurance options, and some employers offer their employees discounted rates. The American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals estimated that in 2021, the annual costs for a dog were nearly $1,400. And more than $1,100 for cats. Those costs are even more during their first year because of extra exams and vaccines. So what can you do to help keep costs down?
Work with your veterinary healthcare team. They're there not to make things expensive. They're there to make sure that you have a long, healthy life with your furry friend.
Bailey recommends talking to your vet about wellness packages, financing options. There are even programs that offer financial aid for vet bills. And many local shelters will also offer discounted care for low-income families. He says staying on top of routine exams and vaccines can help prevent or detect diseases early. Also, keep your pet at a healthy weight, because a healthy pet is a happy pet, and that's priceless. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
We just got a tank full of milk. We're pumping the milk all across the way to their mixing tanks. From here into this machine, this is our pasteurizing machine. So right now we're making chocolate milk. This is all raw right now. So it gets pumped into this balance tank, travels through all these pipes and pumps. There's a heat exchanger which brings the temperature up. Whole milk, skim milk, low-fat milk. We pasteurize at 163, and it's a short amount of time. It's literally 20 seconds at that temperature, and then it's good. It's time, temperature, heat, water, and air. It definitely looks complicated. But really, the reason it looks so complicated is because there's so many fail-safes.
There are regularly outbreaks linked to raw milk and also to products made with raw milk. The microorganisms in raw milk that are making people sick are organisms like Salmonella, like pathogenic E. coli, like Campylobacter, like Listeria monocytogenes. Those are probably the four big ones. These microorganisms are present in the farm environment, in the milking environment, and it's really like a statistical roll of the dice to see whether they get into raw milk or not. I think people that consume raw milk have a perception that they have health benefits from the raw milk, and somehow the pasteurization removes those health benefits. We know that pasteurization does destroy nutrients, but with respect to milk, it really doesn't destroy any nutrients in milk that are where milk is a significant source of those nutrients.
My attitude about pasteurization, in today's world, I think it's a positive thing to do. I think the positives outweigh the negatives. If I have a glass of milk that just came from the cow and is cooled, or comes off the pasteurizer, after going from the cow to the pasteurizer, I see no difference in taste, texture. I have a long history in the dairy industry, and I grew up on unpasteurized milk, and I drank it my whole life, and I found nothing wrong with it. In terms of mass distribution of the product, it becomes complicated.
There does seem to be a growing interest or a continuing interest in this country for people who want to consume raw milk to be able to consume it. Different states are able to legalize it, even though it's still illegal at the federal level. I think if more states were to legalize it, we would probably see more outbreaks. Just like the more raw milk you drink, the higher your chance of getting sick. I do really worry about vulnerable populations. I worry about pregnant women, small children, the elderly, immunocompromised. All of these people are at increased risk of food poisoning generally. The challenge is, how do we design a system that produces raw milk that is of equivalent safety to pasteurization? And I don't think we can do it yet.
Here's a dapper little dude whose sense of style is about more than outward appearance.
Every morning I say to myself, I'm not dressed out a tie.
New Jersey first grader Jordan got his first tie from his grandmother. It's now grown into a full-blown collection, and his sharp look has folks taking notice.
There has to be a special reason why you're wearing a tie. You just look so fancy. He says, I just like it.
That confidence caught on, inspiring instructional coach Maria Milan to create a children's book in his honor. Titled Jordan Fisher Wears a Tie, it's intended to show kids the power of being your authentic self.
And the fact that he inspired me, that's really the most exciting and most heartfelt thing for me.
Look at this girl looking stylish in her brand new ride. That's Claire in her custom car. Claire has spina bifida and is paralyzed from the knees down. Students at the University of Southern Maine gifted her this adaptive toy to help her get on the go. Fully decked out in Claire's favorite color, yellow, slapped with stickers and the ability to haul a wheelchair for extra mobility. Claire's mom says this special gift is going to help her keep up with other kids and access places she couldn't get to before. Here's a not-so-smooth ride as a delivery debacle is caught on camera when paper goes flying across a New York interstate. Reportedly, the truck was carrying undeliverable bulk business mail when it lost the load. Bright side, no one was hurt and no one suffered a delivery delay. Finally, no one likes getting blasted in the beak on camera, especially if it's posted for the world to see. Let's not laugh too much at this bird's misery. It's not normal misery, it's award-winning misery. Titled, Now Where Is My Nest?, this pic claimed the Sterna People's Choice Award for the Nikon Comedy Wildlife Awards. Showing a gannet taking a face full of grass during a windy day in Yorkshire, England, it beat out 40 other finalists in an online vote to claim the top spot. For Take a Look at This, I'm Patrick Cornell.
These students are all part of the 16-week EMT basic class at Fox Valley Technical College. They're practicing CPR, a skill they learned when they started the class in January. On March 25th, a few students were working in the back of this ambulance, practicing their CPR skills while running through a cardiac arrest scenario with one of their instructors, Carl Arps.
I myself at the time was putting the cuff around him to get a blood pressure, and I saw his hand kind of turn in the middle of that, right as I did it, and then I heard a snoring, like his breathing was snoring respirations, and his head was turned to the opposite end, and I'm sort of thinking to myself, I'm like, dang, like what symptom is he throwing at me now?
Another instructor jumped in to observe.
As I was getting in the back of the ambulance, because I'm like, at that point still wasn't sure if it was an act or not, and then he did that agonal breath, and you just know it. When you see it, you know it.
Arps wasn't acting, he was having a heart attack.
You can tell when someone's just screaming to get someone's attention and when it's important. And I heard Tracy's tone of voice and I was like, okay, what's going on? I went through the door and then she's yelling, it's Carl, we need to get him out of here.
Students and instructors jumping in immediately to help.
We got the backboard like underneath him, and then, we unbuckled him too because we had him buckled. Got the backboard under him and then pulled him out and then got him on the ground.
Once on the ground, they started CPR. A defibrillator administered 2 shocks to his heart, and in less than 5 minutes, Arps was conscious and breathing.
Once I got into Gold Cross Ambulance and they hooked me up to everything but the kitchen sink, I sat there and realized what had happened.
Following triple bypass surgery, Arps was back on campus a month later to thank the students and coworkers who helped to save his life.
Whatever you guys want to do, I know you can do it after you just proved it, saving me. So thank you again.